So I decided to, this is the Rolanstar 59-inch TV stand with fireplace. Just got delivered, and I started with the instructions, and right off the bat, I was scratching my head a little bit. I looked on YouTube or Google for videos. I couldn't find any, so I decided to do this. So the first step is taking the LED strip lights, which is here. You see it running across. It has a two-sided tape, pull off the protective layer and lay it down. And then you got to screw them in certain places. It's a bit of a pain, but if you look at the instructions, it almost looks like, it's telling you here. It's not, I initially started putting it against this railing here, but that didn't work out because the screws that hold it in addition to the tape, you can't have it all the way back here. So I had to pull it up, and it's not very sticky. So it's a good thing it comes with these screws, these little tabs to hold it in. So just take note of that when you're putting this on. It's the very first step. Don't take the tape off until you lay it out and you see where it has to go. Okay, so this is step one. I have a few more screws to put in, and that'll take care of this step. And I think what I'll do is for each step, I'll record a little bit, and I'll put it together in like chapters. So this is step one. Okay, so when you put your LED strip in, don't go tight to the corner. Make sure that these plastic clips can reach to cover over it, because this tape is not going to stick. So, all right, there's one there. It has pre-drilled holes, so it's not too bad. But just make sure that before you press it down, you have the clearance to put those clips in, because those are important. And now step two is simple enough. It's calling for B, which are these screws here. And you can see the different holes they go into. Here's one of them. And it's also calling for part number 2, which is this guy. So it's just a matter of putting these screws in. They screw in pretty easy. Hard to do with one hand. Just make sure they go in straight. But they go in. And that's it. Okay, it's hand tight. I'm not going to try and go any further. And that's it. Just put it wherever it calls for, and that's step 2. Okay, and this is step 2 completed. I have all the screws that it called for inserted into both pieces. 1, which is on the top, and 2, which is on the bottom. Easy peasy, no trouble. Okay, the next step, step 3, calls for part A, which are these wooden dowels, and you're going to use 14 of them in parts 4, which there are 2, and parts 5, as well as part 2, and you can see where they go. I like to use wood glue with wooden dowels. I don't know if I need a hammer or not, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the dowels in. They should go right in. I don't think I should need a hammer, but I have it in case I do. And now we'll do step 3. All right, so step 3 is finished. I didn't need the hammer. The dowels went right in. They're loose, so I'm glad I used the glue. Just notice where you're placing the dowels, okay, because it does matter. Look at the positions of the holes, because you could easily have put them on this side, so pay attention to that. And like with the numbers 4 and 5, as you can see here, You got to follow the pattern, because you could also put it here. So it's calling for the bottom hole and the two sides. Same here, bottom hole and the two sides. And on 5, it's kind of the same. 2 on the side and 1 this time on the top hole. So just pay attention to how you're putting your dowels in, especially if you're using glue. And that's the end of step 3. Okay, now step 4, I'm going to use the same pieces that we just used, which is part 2. That's that long strip. And parts 4 and 5. And what we need are part C. These are called cams. There's 4 of them. And this is actually what locks onto, I think this was part A, these things here that we screwed in. So they fit in here. There's a hole that they go through. And when you tighten it, it kind of locks it in. So it's going to use a combination of the wooden dowel goes in one hole, and you see I have the cam right in there, and we're gonna place it right in here. Again, hard to do with one hand, but it goes right in, and this fits in here. I'm gonna glue where the dowel goes, and then just turn the screw on the cam to lock it in place. So just be careful about how you're placing them, like it shows up here. Okay, when it comes to boards 5, they're facing this way, so they'll go this way. Okay, so 4 is the holes are gonna be facing you, on both pieces, and 5, it's gonna be the other way. And you can see how it is here. Okay, this is the inner. Now you see the holes where the cam goes. You can't see it on here because it's on the other side. Again, that's parts 4 and parts 5, so be careful with that. Okay, step 5. That's this right here. We're going to take what we just built and place it on top of what we did in the first step. Notice the hole right here, and the hole is right here. And we're going to take, I think there's 12 cams, and we're going to place them in all these holes that are all around. And then we're going to line it up with the bolts over here, and then we're just going to turn the cams to tighten it and hold it all together. This too should be simple. So just pay attention to how your alignment is, and you'll be good. See you on the other side. And this is step 5 completed. So we're moving along. I'm not gonna lie, this was a little tricky. This might be easier with 2 people because it's long, and you know, you got to see which bolts are not lining up 100%. I mean, they're right there. It took about less than 5 minutes to get on, but you have to play around with it so that it seats just right. But once it goes in, boom, just locks right up when you turn the cam, and we're good to go. Okay, we're up to step 6. We need part 3, which is this right here, and make sure we're lined up okay. We can tell that there are grooves. You see the grooves, and the grooves are here. So we're facing the right way, and it calls for 8 of these bolts that we're going to put it again in the right spot. So make sure you're lined up correctly, and make sure these go in as straight as possible too. And when you did the last step, you know how important that is, because if they're in a little crooked, you know, when it comes time to put another piece on top of it, you're going to struggle. So try to get these in as straight as you can. But it should be a fairly simple step. All right, this is step 6. Okay, that was simple enough. We got all 8 of the bolts in. Now we're up to step 7. And that calls for part M. These are the door latches. And they go right here. You can see where the pre-drilled holes are for them. The screws are in here as well. Take note though, there's a correct way and the wrong way. Make sure they're facing the right way. Okay, step 7, step 6 and 7 are actually done now. These are on, and just make sure that they work this way and not the other way. And that's what this picture means. Make sure that you put them on the right way. Because when you close and open the door, these magnets are going to catch the latch, and that's how they're going to open and close. All right, on to the next step. Okay, step 8 calls for joining the 2 pieces, 1 and 2 together. And that's what we're going to do. You can see the wooden dowels. So I'm going to put a little glue on them. And hopefully things line up okay. And then we're going to put these screws. It's the D-bag into the holes on the opposite side of this piece, number 2. It says to do it on edge. I don't know about that though. We'll see. For step 8, these, the screws here that it's telling you to use, you need an Allen wrench. You know, I stuck a screwdriver in there and I didn't realize it right away until it started spinning. But there's pack Y that comes with 2 different Allen keys, and it's the thinner one for the D screws that go in, and that's right here. These are the D screws. Okay, we're up to step 9, which involves 8, 9, 10, 11. And I have them all situated. You see the grooves the same way that's on here. And I'm going back to the wooden dowels. And we're going to take note of which holes they go in. Okay, so pay attention to that. Again, I'm going to use a little bit of glue and set them in. Okay, we're up to step 10. I have it laid out just like it shows in the directions. And we're going to use 8 of these cams to place in the holes. You see these holes here? Right, 1 and 2. And then of course the inside gets 1 and 2. So that's a total of 8 of them. We'll tighten them up, and that's that. Step 10 is complete.
So let's make sure that he understands that if he's going to be welcome back. I think we're a ways away from that.
Step 12 is simple. Just slide these in. Make sure they go in the right way though. They're not square, so there should be a little sticking out so that this could fit in the groove of the piece that goes against it. But that's it for step 11. Done. Okay, step 12. We're up to, we're going to put this piece on the back. You see the slots here? That's going to go on there. And of course we got the wooden dowels that are going to go in the holes. So I'm going to glue that up. And we're going to secure it with these again.
You want me to make you coffee?
Yes, please.
How many sugars? 3?
There's 8 of these screws
Oh,
that
sorry.
get put in. That's okay.
Ocean voyages,
This is
designing
step
all-inclusive
12.
experiences for the thinking
Completed.
person. Viking, voted world's best
Well, it's starting
by
to
both
look like
Traveller
something.
Leisure and Condé Nast Traveller.
On to step
Learn
13.
more at
Okay, we're up to step 13. And that consists of these 2 pieces of wood, 14. And we also have 2 smaller pieces, 15. And we have these guys here. And the way this goes in, it goes in this way. You have like that, and it gets 1 screw, which is an F screw. It's in packet F, and it calls for the larger Allen key. So that's it. This too is relatively, or should be simple. I can't do it with one hand, but that's it. So we'll work on the 2 larger 14s and the 2 smaller 15s, and we'll get that ready. Okay, step 13 is complete. Put all these corner brackets on. Now we're going to assemble them. I just put a couple in. I put the side pieces in, this side, this long piece, the short end, and then we'll just put this guy in. They just got to be screwed now, and that'll take care of this step. Another easy step. Okay, step 14 is done. This is the bottom of the unit. And the next step, 15, is calling for these things here. I guess they're protectors, feet, to protect the wood floor or something. I don't know, but it looks like they were right over each of these, and there are 10 of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that around. Now we're up to step 16. We're going to put these in the corner of the backs to hold them. You can see it right here. And the screw goes in at an angle. This also has a slot that catches in the slots that are in the wood. Remember those from when you put this piece on? So you can see it just, the slot is here, and it just goes in the groove. But do it in the corner, both up and down, and screw them in, and that's it. You do that for all 4 corners, and we'll be done with this step. Now we're up to step 17, and we need parts 23. There are 3 of them, and those are these brackets right here. And we need the fasteners that we've been using, F, to attach them. And when you put them on, they go like this. Because what's going to happen is the brace for the, well, in the next step you can see here, that's the backing for the TV support. It's going to be able to mount to that. So 3 of these get installed, 1 under here, and 1 under here, and then the other here. And there's holes for them, so they should go right in. Okay, so step 17 is done. It's fairly simple. They're in 3 places. I forgot to mention, these are elongated, so that tells me that you might have to make adjustments. So when you mount these, I did it flush. I didn't do it so that they're too back in or sticking out too far. I just did it flush with the wood. I might have to make adjustments on it, and that's probably why they're elongated, but we'll see. That part's coming up next. So for step 18, we have part 18, which is this. and it's going to go against those 3 brackets that we just put in. And you'll notice the top has 4 holes. This hole is down on the bottom, so you know, don't mount it the wrong way, mount it the right way. And you attach it using the same screws as before from the inside. So I'm just going to swing around and attach it. Okay, we're up to step 19. The doors, we got 6 and 7. And we have them right here. Here's where the magnets are going to go. And then you can see it here. We also have this packet, which contains these items here. So we're going to do that now. Okay, what I'm doing here for for this piece, it's hard going in. See what I'm talking about? You don't want to press on this or hit this with a hammer. See how it's a spring-loaded thing? So, I took my screwdriver and I took out the, you know, the bit part so that I could put it on top of this and tap it down. So I'm not going to damage this little pin. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you. That's kind of hard to get in. I wouldn't just hit this. I would try to maybe tap the edges. If you have a screwdriver like this or a socket, maybe use that to help drive it in. And this is what it looks like completed. See, that's sitting nice and flush. Okay, folks, we finished step 21. Put in the electric. 2 screws, very simple. The doors went in easy, and you can see. Now we're up to the fireplace. Get that big hole filled in, and we'll be good to go. Okay, so here's the fireplace. I have it unboxed. I took everything out. And the first step is to remove the glass, take out the styrofoam protective inserts, and place the crystals on the bottom. These are the directions, and it says to remove white bolts. There's one on the left and the right side. And then take the front panel off. They're really not white bolts. You can see that they're silver. The rest are black. So I'm going to remove this one. And same on the other side. Pull out the glass, take the stuff out. Okay, the screws are out. It's still sturdy though. You have to lift it up. If you look in the picture, you can see it's on like hinges. So you got to lift it up. I can't do it with one hand, but I just had it out and put it back. So when you take the screws out, lift it up, and then towards you, it'll come right out. And then after this, the glass cover goes back on and secured with those same 2 screws. Okay, the next step, very simple, is to remove these 2 screws. Again, they call them white, but they're really, you know, chrome. So those are going to come off. Brackets are going to take its place. Now it's time to put the two brackets that came with the fireplace on. And we're also going to use the screws that came with it. Here are the brackets, and here are the screws. These are a little longer than the ones that we just removed. Okay, the brackets are on. I forgot to mention though, don't tighten them all the way. Because you're going to have to adjust them when this gets mounted to the stand. So I just, a little less than hand tight so that they can move freely when it's time to mount it. But before we mount it, we're going to test it. That's what the instructions guide you to do. Here's the remote control. There's also the panel here. So let's go ahead and turn it on. Well, at least that works. I don't know what FO1 is. I'm not going to get into all that now, but I know it's working, so I'm happy with that. And let's go ahead and mount it. Okay, step 23. We're going to insert the fireplace, and we're going to use 2 screws, E-screws, which are these, to secure it to the inside. That's why the brackets were only hand tight, because they might need adjustment going in and out. We're going to go ahead and do that now. And then that's actually the last step of the TV stand. I do intend to mount the, comes with a wall mount. I'm going to attach that to the stand. You do have the option of attaching it to the wall and just having the TV stand, but I'm going to attach it to the stand. And that's it. It's all installed now. I tried to make the space even on both ends. I thought it would cover the whole thing, but it doesn't. So I tried to space it out so it's even. Tightened up all the screws, and this is done, folks. That's it. Now I just gotta finish with the stand mount and mount the TV to that. I'll do that tomorrow. That's the TV that is going to be mounted on this, and I'm going to get rid of that old stand behind it with a nice new one.